You're watching Dreadfully Drawn live.
I love nostalgia. There's nothing better than looking back and saying it was better in my day. I recently started a project called Things That Made Sense as a Football Fan in the 2000s, where I highlighted some of the best and worst things of being a football fan in the 2000s. This is episode 3, so feel free to check out the other 2 episodes where I talk about Livestrong wristbands, I talk about football stickers in crisp packets, all the great things from the 2000s. But now, let's get stuck in. First up, what on earth were these? In the last episode, I mentioned Corinthian micro stars, which were football figures, collectible football figures. During the 2006 World Cup, well, ahead of it and during, UK supermarket Sainsbury's had a sponsorship with England, and I guess with Corinthian, where they created 18 legendary gold figurines. Some of the scariest things you will ever see in your life. There must have been 11 first team players and then maybe 7 legends. Bobby Moore, I think Jeff Hurst possibly. Like there was a few different ones. I can't remember who the legends were. Peter Shilton maybe. Horrific. I don't think it's too much of a shock when I tell you that they never made these again. This was the only time these were ever made, I think, as far as I'm aware. I think I might have 6 of them, possibly, from when I was a kid. Obviously I haven't got them on display because, to be quite honest, they are quite scary. They don't look gold. They're meant to be gold, I think. They don't look gold. They're more of a brown, like bronzy colour. Yeah, it's not too much of a shock that Sainsbury's never did these again, and England never allowed these things to happen ever again. But I mean, it was good while it was fun. It's always good collecting things. Next up, I think this is one of the great football designs, and it's in the background of this video. The 2002 World Cup football. One of Adidas's all-time greats. I think the ball is called the Fevernova, potentially. I might have pronounced that wrong. It's written out Fevernova. It was used primarily for the 2002 World Cup, but I think it was used for possibly the Women's World Cup the year after. I think it was used in a couple of different leagues, potentially German league. It was the World Cup ball though. I am lucky to still own my original 2002 version of the ball. It's not a remade one. I'll put some close-ups on screen now. It's not in the best shape, but it's still going strong. It still pumps up. For as long as I live, I'll make sure that ball survives. Design-wise, it was a major departure from what had been in the past. The Tango ball had been used for years. I think this might be the first time that Adidas stepped away from that Tango design and created something new for the World Cup. It's such a departure from the other designs. It's so different. It's gold for a start, and at the time I remember there being a lot of discussion about the ball being far too light. Balls have different weights and react differently to getting kicked in different ways. Obviously some players find techniques on how to get the best out of a football. I do remember vividly David Seaman being a victim of this ball's lofty flight. It is a one that lives long in the memory. What a ball. Genuinely, like, even after all this time, it's been 22 years at the time of recording this, that ball was in circulation, and it is still one of the all-time great footballs. I think it's one of the all-time great football designs, generally in football, when you sort of, from a design point of view. It's so special. It's so good. And I don't really think there's been a better World Cup ball since. I think there's been some good ones. The 2006 one was good. The 2010 one was good. But nah, I think the 2002 one still is the best. Next up is, I'm assuming it's a UK specific one because I can't imagine this being on TV anywhere else, but I might be wrong. Masters Football. Masters Football was a TV show that ran from 2000 to 2011, primarily on Sky Sports. Basically, the premise was retired footballers playing five-a-side football. It was competitive. Very competitive. A lot of the players were newly retired, so they still had that competitive edge. You wanted to win this competition. You wanted your team to win this competition, regardless of whether it was competitive football, Premier League football, World Cup football. Masters foot. You wanted your team to win the Masters football. It was always entertaining. It was always good fun. I don't think it'll ever come back. There were rumours that it was going to come back. I just think the demand for it won't be there. I don't think people will sit and watch it and follow it. Maybe if it was an online thing, it might do well. I can't see it ever getting to a point where Sky Sports think that they're going to bring back a full series of Masters football. It would be great. As much as I loved it, I think it probably had its time and place in UK TV history, and it's there, and those who enjoyed it think fondly of it. Number 4 on the list, I don't know what was going on at this point in football, but there was a point where certain teams had reversible football shirts. This was such a strange time. Like, was it a design choice? Was it a fashion statement? Was it for ease? Was it, environmentally friendly? Maybe all of them. It was so strange, and it didn't last long. I think the most famous kits that used the reversible designs would have been England in their 2004 kit, Manchester United with their reversible gold kit, and I can't think of many other examples. My guess is that it was mainly Umbro, or only Umbro, and I can't ever remember Adidas doing it. I can't remember Nike doing it, or Reebok. It was such a unique time, this. Like, it just wouldn't happen now, mainly because football clubs and manufacturers want people to buy more kits than they need. There's 3 kits come out each season. There's more kits come out because they announce retro kits and anniversary kits and training kits and kits to celebrate a new mascot. Like, it's so mad how many kits are released now. I just can't see a world where a company or a team will want people to buy 2 kits a year at a minimum than 3. I know from myself when I was a kid, you want the kits. Manufacturers are going to want to make as many kits as possible, so kids want the kits, parents buy the kits, and having a reversible kit that cuts down the idea of people buying more kits just it's not going to cut it now. Yeah, a really bizarre time. A really fun time. I really loved it. I look back at the England kit with real fondness, and I wish I still had it. I don't know where it went. Probably got marked beyond belief. Just got rid of it because it was like, it wasn't even an England kit anymore. It was just a mess. But I really wish I still had it. There is a picture of me wearing it. I'll put it on screen now. It's just that brief period in time where manufacturers were brave and they were daring to do things a little bit different that weren't just, look at this rehash of a 1980s kit that we've done. Like, it was a genuine design choice that really stood out and divided opinion. It divided opinion even at the time. I know people hate that Man United kit. I don't mind it. And I love the England kit. It's one of my favourite England kits. Yeah, just a better time, wasn't it? It was better then. Finally, this is still one of the strangest things to ever happen in Premier League football, in my opinion. Like, I'm not sure there's ever been a bust-up in the Premier League quite like Kieron Dyer and Lee Bowyer. Kieron Dyer, Lee Bowyer, both playing for Newcastle. 2 teammates scrapping in the middle of the pitch. I think the reason for them fighting was that one of them didn't pass to the other. I think that's what the basis of the fight was. Basically, one of them didn't pass. The other one said something. The other one said something. Next thing you know, in the middle of St James's Park on a Saturday afternoon, they're trying to kick each other's head in. I just can't think of a time in the Premier League where there's been a fight like that since. Obviously, it's become like an iconic Premier League moment. I don't think it would be as iconic if it happened now, because it would be everywhere. Everyone would know about it instantly. People would be recording it in the ground. There's so many streams available now. Ball streamed globally. The only way you really knew about this was hearing about it and then seeing it on Match of the Day, because it wasn't televised. I don't even know if it'll have been televised abroad. It wasn't shared around social media because social media didn't really exist. Heard Kieron Dyer tell this story like multiple times. He always gets asked about it. Probably always will get asked about it. Just a great Premier League moment. Just never, it hasn't happened since, as far as I'm aware, because we all love to see, as much as commentators tell you we don't like to see it, we all love to see that sort of stuff on a football pitch, and we just don't see as much of it anymore. And if we do, it's like overanalyzed, and I think that's the beauty of it. It just wasn't overanalyzed at all. It was like, these 2 lads want to punch each other. Now it would be like, well, what's the dressing room like? Who's siding with who in the dressing room? What did that punch mean? What do you mean when he said that? Why was he laughing when he went off? Who punched who? Why was who blue? It would just be so overblown, and it's just another case of things being better in my day. End of video. That was the next 5 in the series of this series. That doesn't make sense. That was the next 5 things that just made sense as a football fan in the 2000s. Did that make sense? You know what I mean though. If you've got any that you remember, please do let me know. I'm keen for more ideas. Feel free to subscribe if you want to. If you want more of this stuff, let me know. Or don't. Doesn't matter, because I'll still be doing it regardless. Thank you for watching. As always, it was better in my day. Goodbye.